In 2025, should you be going for the R6 or the ZX6R? Let's have a talk about it. So in 2025, let's talk about what bike should you be looking to choose. The R6 or the newest ZX6R. I recently just had the 2025 ZX6R for about a week, which was very pleasurable. And I've now been on the R6 for about 4 or 5 days. The one thing that I do want to say is I am a Yamaha fanboy at heart. The R6 was my dream bike growing up. The R6 or the R1, those are my bikes. That's all I cared about when it came to sports bikes. That's what I grew up around. That's what my uncle used to have an R1. Used to have a flip a coin to see whose turn it would be to go out on it. And yeah, times have changed. Personally, back in the UK, I owned the Yamaha MT-07, which is just perfect for city riding and getting around. And now I'm out here, I'm like, I had the experience to check out all these cool, I have the opportunity to check out all of these cool bikes, so why not go for it? So let's go on a little ride and see. But even though I'm a Yamaha fanboy, that will have nothing to do with this video, because the ZX6R genuinely surprised me. So I do see why it will be quite a hard choice when it comes to picking between these two bikes. So first things first, which I want to say, which might seem a bit weird, for me personally, the R6 is more of a comfortable bike. I don't know why. Everyone online says the ZX6R is more comfortable. I'm about 6'2", and the R6 just feels more comfortable for me compared to the ZX6R. The seating position, where my legs are positioned, everything just feels better for me, but most people will tell you the ZX6R is a better fit. So, power delivery. I know that's one thing we always hear between the ZX6R and the R6. Yeah. Sandy. Let me just get through here, guys. Boiling hot today. These little motorcycles with the carts on them, you gotta be careful. So the one thing, the ZX6R is definitely less choppy on the throttle. Definitely less choppy, making it better for city riding, where the R6 can be quite choppy on the throttle. And of course, the ZX6R has got better mid-range, low-range, whereas the R6, it doesn't come alive until, you see? We're not going to do anything too crazy. So that instantly just makes the ZX6R a better bike for city riding, as you could have more fun on the streets with it. Another thing, you gotta remember the ZX6R I was on was a 2025. I believe this R6 is a 2020, one of the last ones. So of course, the ZX6R does have better technology. The TFT display, I love that. I do love the TFT display. It just adds so much more personality to the bike, makes riding just that little bit more fun. Get to the front here. This bike does not like true. Whereas the R6, as you can see, no TFT display, doesn't even have a fuel gauge, none of that. So that could be a factor for some. Not having a fuel gauge is kind of big for some people. It was kind of big for me at first. I just make sure as soon as that light comes on, I go and fill up straight away now. Very nice Ducati there. Very nice. So yeah, no TFT display, no fuel gauge, but at the end of the day, it is an R6. This is heavily focused for the track, which is weird why it feels more comfortable for me. I'm not sure why that is. Remember, I did also say I'm a Yamaha fanboy, so when it comes to looks, I think he wanted a little race. When it comes to looks, I'm going to have to pick the R6 for me personally. The ZX6R is a very good looking bike, but for me, the R6 wins when it comes to looks, and maybe that's because it's my childhood bike. This is the bike I grew up dreaming about. I had posters of this bike on my bedroom wall, so that's probably the reason. Let's just get around this bend. Another thing is braking. What was the braking like between these two bikes, comparing them? Pretty similar. Pretty similar when it comes to it. The braking, very similar. I have nothing really to say too much on the brakes. Nothing too special. I was on the BMW S1000R not too long ago, and that did have crazy brakes, but that is 1000cc, so you can't really compare. So this has the brakes and it does its job. I feel safe, I can reach speeds, does its jobs. You can see the clutch, I'm not too confident with the clutch on this bike. Like you can see the clutch cable has been adjusted out quite far. The biting point is not what I'm used to, especially coming from riding a 2025 ZX6R. Whereas I believe this bike has been dropped before as well also. But yeah, I imagine picking up the panels for R6s is going to become expensive. So in terms of value, I'll say that the ZX6R is better value for money right now because one, you get a digital display, you get a fuel gauge, you get all the rider modes, where this does have rider modes, but it's just more new, more developed. Whereas the R6 has now been discontinued and is slowly creeping up in price. So the ZX6R, if you're in the market for a new bike, you're getting the newest of the newest. But I also understand the R6 is just that bike that's on everyone's list. This R6 is equipped with a quick shifter. As you see, the ZX6R does also have a quick shifter. And there's not that much difference between the two. They're both quite smooth quick shifters. Oh, see, this is me being a bit spoilt here. I would love if the ZX6R, because it is a newer bike, it had downshifts as well with the auto blip, which it doesn't. But that's me being spoilt coming off riding a BMW. But as you can see, the R6 just pulls. And for me, it's so comfortable. I don't know what it is, but for me personally, I feel like I could do more on the R6. I just have more confidence with it compared to the ZX6R. I think that might be down to the seating position I was in, where the R6 just gives me confidence. In terms of fuel economy, I don't imagine there's going to be too much difference. It all just depends how you ride. Whereas if you're riding how I'm riding, I could be up a gear, but I don't want to. I just want to hear the sound of this bike. I probably could save fuel by riding a little bit better, more economical. But also you don't really get a 600 to be economical. It's more about miles per gallon. Could you daily commute on these bikes? I reckon you could. On a short 30-40 minute journey, I'm a quite young guy. It's not too bad. After about an hour and 40 minutes, that's when I started feeling it, when I was on the ZX6R for a long ride. So yeah, you could daily these bikes, no problem. If you're doing short rides, you could daily them, no problem. So I think we're going to be turning off here. What a beautiful day to be riding. So personally, if I had to pick between these two bikes, bear in mind, I am a Yamaha fanboy. But if I got given a voucher, for example, and on this voucher it said, you could go into any of these dealerships and exchange it for any 600cc out of the ZX6R or anything like that, I probably would go for the ZX6R because it has the new TFT display, so I feel like I'm getting better bang for my buck. Like, just for the TFT display and fuel gauge, I'd probably go over that, and the fact it's a newer bike and the R6s are getting quite expensive, where I could just get the ZX6R for cheaper at this point. So that does make the most sense for me. Are the traffic lights working today? I don't know if these traffic lights are working. Because yeah, they're not even green, which is very dodgy. Just get into our own little bubble, get away from these cars. So yeah, if I had to pick between the two, I'd go for the ZX6R 2025. Because yeah, it's a new bike. It's got the little extra bells and whistles that are nice and cool. And I know eventually, for me, I would get used to the seating position. And I know for most, the ZX6R should actually be more comfortable of a bike for you than this R6 is. And as we all know, the ZX6R does have the better mid-range, so you could have more fun. But the R6 is the R6. It just looks stunning. To be fair, I think I did get a lot more reactions with the ZX6R out here in Thailand anyway. Like whenever I pulled up to the petrol station, especially if there was a lot of young guys on shift, they levitated more to the ZX6R. And of course, the BMW S1000R, which who isn't? That bike was something else. The interesting thing, at first I thought, after coming off the BMW, I was like, yeah, I'm not really going to enjoy the rest of these bikes. But I'm still enjoying them. But you see when I took that corner there, how it just, I don't know, just chopped, just boop, just pulled the head like that. I wasn't really getting that on the ZX6R. And I have done a lot of city riding, and the ZX6R, so much better for city riding, especially going through traffic. So much better. Going through traffic, slowly filtering, slowly moving lanes, anything like that. The ZX was just so much better at handling it. It liked to just creep nice and perfectly. It just was, yeah, so much better. So really, it's all going to be down to personal opinion at the end of the day. Whether you want the ZX6R or the R6, personal opinion and budget. But if the ZX6R, let's see if we could get this into neutral. Nope. So yeah, the ZX6R, if you can pick one up for cheaper than the R6, that might be the best option to go. This does have a stabilizer on it. I do think it may be aftermarket. Here's another quick look at the bike. That fan loves to come on. I do love the front of this bike. I just love the way this bike looks. This bike will be going back today. Debating if I should get the MT10 next. Oh, I don't know. We'll see what they have. Have a look at the shocks there. Suspension on the two bikes, I'm going to say, was pretty much about the same. No noticeable differences. Like the ZX6R, the R6, they both feel the same on speed bumps. As you can see, this does have a beautiful Yoshi exhaust. R&G radiator cover, which is nice. The ZX6R did also have an exhaust as well. And I imagine, yeah, so me personally, I love the look of the R6. But if I was able to pick up the ZX6R cheaper than this model here, and it has a TFT display, I'm gonna go for the ZX6R. Either way, both of these bikes are bulletproof. You know, the Japanese make really good bikes. So even if you did go for the R6, you know you shouldn't have too much problems. As long as you're staying on top of service and all of those good stuff, all of those good things, you should have no problems. Like, this is a rental bike, probably been rid by thousands of people. And no issues. And obviously the company I rent these bikes from, they do take good care of them. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope it aids in your decision making a little bit. I'm just going to walk down the pier, see what we could check out, and then go and take this bike back. And we'll be back with another video shortly. And I will be improving things as we move along. See ya.